Good evening, Universus. I'm Levi, and we've got another Wednesday webcam weekly in store for you guys. But this evening, it's gonna be a little different because I'm bringing in for the first time ever, never before seen, exclusive, Mr. David Thomas. David, how are you doing today, man?
I am doing great, Levi. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, of course. You hit me up not too long ago, right? About kind of dipping your toes in the water per se, and I thought that we have a really nice, lovely, chill evening on this week to just sit down and chat with you, man. We have got a lot of awesome stuff to go over in this pre-show, and then of course, following that, we've got 3 rounds of Wednesday webcam weekly matches to watch. Are you excited to see some locals of spice tonight, David?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially because I know that actually some of my locals from Kings Court Gaming are going to be here today. So you may have heard of them before.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys saw the short, you know. If you didn't see the short, go to Universus CCG on YouTube right now and check out the King's Court short because it's actual art. It's genuinely art. But if we start talking about those guys, we'll be here all evening. And while we do want to be here all evening, we have other things to talk about as well because it's actually been a relatively busy week as far as Universus itself is concerned. Probably the most exciting thing going on right now is the announcement of our New York Comic-Con collab. David, have you gotten a chance to look into any of this?
Yes, I'm so excited for this collaboration. There's this episode that's coming up, and I have definitely talked a lot. Also, just trying to figure out which characters are they going to be bringing out. We've got some definite hints about who might be there, right? The front character is very clearly one Deku out of another, but
Right.
there's still a lot of speculation that's showing up. Like, which Ochako are they going to be bringing? And
Which
I'm more than
chocolate, but that's Mina. That's Mina. Don't you lie to me. I'm sure.
oh my gosh!
No, no,
You
no.
actually
No, no, I'm joking with you. It's like definitely Ochako, right? But the Mina stands can cope. We can always cope.
absolutely, yeah. And it's just really exciting how they're doing this collaboration, but they're also making sure that those of us who are still part of the game, who've been playing and grinding out things, are going to also be able to enjoy these as well, right? They'll be showing up for some of our promos, right? If
For
I remember correctly.
nationals, yeah, every
Yeah.
single national event, these are getting tacked on to participation pricing as well. And a lot of the convention exclusive stuff that we've done in the past has been, a little lamented, right? Because as with any exclusive item, right, there's going to be some level of FOMO. Granted, New York Comic Con is a bit of a different beast, right? So
Hmm.
I'm personally really glad to see that they're going to be bringing these to all of our national events because like these look super duper cool. I think this is a really cool concept, and I'm sure like they'll feel even cooler once we actually see that OVA, right? And like actually see these in the hands of the characters. Like I just can't wait to see how all of that comes to fruition. Like, do you think they're actually going to be playing Universes?
Oh, I can only hope if they do. Trust me, I'll be watching that episode on repeat, just trying to figure out like, okay, well what's their game plan here? Is Bakugo really as aggressive as he might be, or maybe he's a little bit more relaxed when it comes to card games?
I just want to hear Bakugo's voice actor say "See orange, play orange," man. We just need that. I just need that in my life, dude. I can't wait. I hope that we get some news on how all of us non-New York Comic Con peons can catch this episode because they're going to be exclusively premiering it at Comic Con itself. We have not gotten a single detail though on how the rest of us can see it. So regardless, though, hopefully, like right, we've got some Universes fan out there heading to Comic Con who can maybe get us the scoop.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know last year I was fortunate to help out with the demo team at New York Comic Con, but this year I'm on the outside. I'm not going to be that person. So if you're out there, let us know. We want to know what's going on.
Holy cow, we sure did have a blast at New York last year, huh?
Yeah. Oh, we absolutely did. So
Yeah,
this
and
just seems to be a great place to get out that information.
yeah, no, this is awesome, man. I'm really excited to see more of what comes out of this, and of course, like to get an actual like look at these cards on hand in person. I'm hyped for more details, and I cannot wait to see this OVA, man. Holy cow! It's I really like how they do some of these OVAs sometimes, like a nice little buffer between seasons. And last season, no spoilers, right? But if you're caught up on My Hero, well, last season was a bit of a train ride.
Yeah, it's always good just to have that little piece of relaxation right before the big things, almost like this Wednesday Weekly, right? We've got just a little bit of calm before the big storm that's coming up.
Yeah, a nice hefty little amount of calm, right? This week is going to be relatively chill. After that, Vegas, Nats. I hope you're ready for all the craziness. But that's end of our pre-show talk, right? We do have some more things to chat about, David. David. Hypothesize with me,
Mhm.
right? Say we're both brand new players and we're trying to get into this Universes card game, and we're looking at these cards and we're seeing all of these symbols, man. Holy cow! All of these different symbols. Symbols. What do they mean? What do they do? How do they operate? Well, design team is here to give you the scoop. They've put out a nice little lovely article about all of the new symbols, and I think this is really good timing, man. I don't know about you, David, but when I was getting into the game and early on when the game was coming out, I, as well as a lot of other new players, were like, yo, is there somewhere where I can just find like a guide on like the principles and mechanics of every symbol?
Yeah, I was kind of in the same camp back when I was first learning, and especially as the games evolved, like trying to figure out what exactly is your game plan if you're, say, running on Void versus trying to play on Fire. Like how do they differ? What does it mean if your character has both? Like how does that strategy change? And so just having them lay out here's kind of your core strategy. Here are some cards that really exemplify it, and maybe even some of the new cards that are coming out, things that if you're already, say, a chaos player like myself, maybe things you're a little bit more excited about that's coming out, so that maybe you can slot them into your deck from there. So I'm really glad that it's a useful resource for both new players and old, just to either get you into the game or to help you brush up on some of those fundamentals of what is that deck identity, what is the symbol representing for what you're playing.
Yeah, it's just a great resource to have, right? I love that you brought up Jetburn because I feel like Jetburn covers like a lot of different facets of that too, right? You have Gentle Criminal, right? Like the quintessential chaos symbol character, literally completely embodies that symbol. Then you have a guy like Best Genist who has all of these card pool stuffing and card pool interacting mechanics on absolutely zero symbols that do that like whatsoever in the game right now. So like you have like, hey, here's what this what these symbols usually look like, but then here's also what they could look like, and who knows what they'll look like going forward, right? We're kind of in a brand new era. They can start getting really, really weird with it, right? imagine if the water symbol by the next 2 or 3 sets has some identity besides card pool stuffing and blocking.
Oh yeah, if there's one thing I love about this game is that there is just so much flexibility with what can be introduced, and that while you may have had an idea on something before, it may definitely change in the future. So I'm also right there with you, looking forward to how things evolve.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a pre-show, right? In the months of August and September 2023, if we didn't talk a little bit about Jetburn, right? Because reveal season, it's
Oh,
almost done, David. Can you believe that?
yes.
It's almost
No, I
done.
can't believe it. I would love more cards, but eventually the set has to come out. It's
This is true. This is true.
oh,
And like, hey, let's get grounded here, right?
okay.
Community content creator reveal season is over. There's still much more of the set to see, right? There's all the back page stuff.
True.
There's the promos, the plus ultra, like the provisionals. There's gonna be a lot more Jetburn cards to come out of the woodwork. But for now, as far as our community leading content creators showing us cards, it's coming to a close very, very soon, right? We saw Mount Lady today, and then tomorrow we're finally gonna be capping off the season with Hawks. Finally, Hawks, he's gonna be here. But I know that we were talking a little bit about some of these more recent creator reveals, David.
Hmm.
These lurkers are pretty wacky, huh?
Oh yeah. As I was saying before, there's a good chance I may be on Team Lurker. I really like how they've taken this new character trait idea, and at least with Team Lurker that I've identified, they're really showing how these characters kind of play well off each other. That in a sense you get to pick two of them and get to say, well, you get to use their cards together and find some way to really make them synergize off of this review mechanic, right? So I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that these guys all share like a very unique to them element or mechanic, I should say, in that they, do stuff off reviewing cards. And then not only do they have this really unique mechanic that they all share, they also all do really unique stuff with it, right? Like edge shot is like nothing we've seen in the game thus far, at least in MHA, right? Obviously, the old heads know, are a little bit more familiar with him, but that's not something that we've seen in MHA's design space. Mount Lady, we've seen counters before, right? But making an attack unblockable, that's completely unique as far as this format has been concerned so far. And then Kamui like raising his max health and then like sticking things in the card pool to interact with them is like also very unique stuff. These guys just all have very, very cool design space.
There's some wacky brews that I have been thinking about ever since Kamui's cards come out. Now hear me out here, just because I want to share to see if someone else can really crack the code on this. The Deku PSC promo. Yeah, you put it into card pool, and then you make something happen from here. You're doing a bunch of review stuff, right? Like, okay, you're discarding part of cost. It's like right on the tip of my creative tongue, and I cannot figure out how to get the rest of the way. And so I just want to see this deck just make its way, like make this one check amazing. So
that's super. No, dude, that's super cool, man. I've been thinking about life weapon decks with Kamui and sticking the throwing knife lunge.
Oh yeah, I know you love that card.
Yeah, I freaking love that card. There a lot of really, really, really cool things you can do with these guys. I think they've really like stolen the show as far as the creator reveals have been lately. And something that to kind of like tease the future a little bit more, David. Something that I'm really excited about as far as seeing more of the back page is. These guys all have, as we were talking about, that lurker keyword. None of their cards say lurker something on them. There's no lurker enhanced, lurker response, lurker form, which means there's got to be more lurker support coming, right? It's got to be in the back page somewhere, right?
That is the hope. We've seen UA1 or Class 1A. We've seen Pro Hero. We've even seen Nomu. We have not seen lurker yet.
Yeah. I'm hoping these guys get like, I'm going to be the historian for a second here. I'm really hoping these guys get some kind of like multi-symbol King of Fighters team asset style card, like those teams had in the past. They said that there's room for more symbols on the cards now. Look, those were nuggets of knowledge dropped on us, man. Either way, I can't wait to see what they do. I can't wait to see what they do. I can't wait to see Hawks tomorrow, man. Jetburn, even though like part of it is coming to a close, this is like the most exciting finale we could have. And then past that, we just have even more to look forward to as the sets come out, as well as like the entirety of the Clash decks, right? We haven't seen anything from the Ochako and the Toga decks.
We did see the rare card. I remember this because there's a person who's very excited about trying to run that in Deku 5. So I just remember the card. But...
It'd be a little wild if I didn't remember that one, right? Yeah. I was kind of there for that one. Maybe. just a little bit.
I will admit I forgot the rest of the cards that went with them. So I'm right there with you, missing some pretty important details that I probably should have remembered.
There are definitely like massive chunks of Jetburn to come in the near future. But for now, David, from here on out, let's talk about the near past a little bit. A little birdie told me there was some regional license exam somewhere in Rochester. People play Universes in Rochester. Really? That's crazy.
I've heard that there may be a group of players from Rochester, New York, that may have done things that
Oh, are they any good?
I don't know. They may have earned first place, at the HLC or something.
Oh yeah, that Kevin Broberg guy. Yeah, guys. Rochester had an RLE and it was really, really fantastic. I've been excited for this RLE for a really long time now, mainly because like a big thing this year has been LWG got their RLE, Unfun Stuff got their RLE, time for Rochester CCG to get their RLE, right? Or at least more or less, right? It was at Millennium Games, but Rochester CCG was very involved, right? We had Sean O'Brien vending the whole thing. We had Ryan as our head judge, just slinging rulings nonstop all weekend, and the venue was amazing. It was a really, really, really fun RLE. But to dive away from like the fluffy aspects a little bit and go more into the actual cards that got slung and the metas that were either slung or not so slung. That's why we have this article here, guys. Design team with Bill Stark at the head has put together this really, really cool article that's just kind of like asking each member of design their thoughts on like what got played and what didn't get played. And there is some really, really, really funny stuff in here, man.
Yeah, I think it is really cool that they really reached out to each of the designers just to see how they felt about some of those standings. And I do kind of just want to go in order with it, starting with Jeremy Ray, especially because they call out Devin Pina's Bakugo 3 list, right? I think it's first time Bakugo 3 showed up at a top
Yes,
cut.
that is that character's first top cut. That is correct.
Yeah, and I know he's been working on that list. He's one of the King's Court folk, and he has been working on that list for months at this point. There was a point when it ran Heroic Clash. I remember that. So it's been really cool to see how that's going. But more importantly, we have both Tabe and Satsuno making top cuts as well, right?
Yeah, I think that's something that Clint, Roma's church, right, talks about in
Mm-hmm.
his little blurb. Two members of Team Human Garbage got to make top cuts under the same evil symbol. I thought that was really, really cute. Probably my favorite thing from this article is Shane Duckworth talking about how like we saw different styles of decks, right? We saw 50 card decks, we saw 70 card decks, we saw decks with like nothing but 4-ofs, we saw decks with tons of 1-ofs. He pokes a little fun at Garrett Brett's infamous 75 card midnight deck with 24 different 1-ofs in it, which I think is actually hysterical. Literally the most Garrett Brett deck ever, and it's something that I can really, really see Shane appreciating there.
Yeah, I had like the brief chance to talk with him about it. I was like, well, why'd you decide to go with this deck? And he just goes, oh, well, I kind of just wanted to try something new. Midnight looked kind of fun. So he just kind of picks his favorite. You see him just kind of picking up his 1-of binder and just throwing them together.
That is Garrett Brett for you. One of the most decorated players in the game's history. Got tons of character cards to prove it, and just goes to show that you can make a real wacky deck, right, and still do really well with it if you just like are a legend at the game. And I think that was like the epitome of this top cuts, right? So many wacky decks. The article gets like much more into the details and stuff too. We also just uploaded our Rochester RLE recap on the YouTube channel, so if you really want all those deets, like there is a ton more info to access. But David, our clock is running short. We've got to get to these rounds really, really, really quickly. So I think before we let the people go, let's remind them. We were just saying it earlier, right? There's a lot of stuff in the coming weeks. Here it is, guys. The biggest thing right on the horizon is, of course, we're going back to Vegas. Vegas, baby. The city of sin. Very, 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 very soon for the final RLE of the season. Holy cow.
Yeah, if you don't have your invite at this point, right, this is kind of last chance for that. So if you're really, really want to push for nationals, definitely suggest trying to make your way out if you can.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event. Again, pre-registrations are live. You want to get that extra point towards rating the RLE. Please, please, please go sign up. It's going to be a great event, and I cannot wait to see everyone there. And of course, they're on the screen, right? But you guys all know. You guys all know nationals are coming up. You guys know that's the most hype event of the year that I really, really, really cannot wait to see y'all at. So make sure you get your invites, you get your qualifications, you get in early so you can make sure you're getting all those sweet, sweet promos. A lot of stuff to look forward to, but I will cease talking your ears off for the time being because David and I have got to bounce out of here so we can go get ready and go line up an amazing round one for tonight's action. We will see you guys soon, very, very, very quickly.